Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series of Computer Organization and Advanced Microprocessors. This is lecture number 22. These days we are learning data representation and in that floating point numbers. After learning some basic points and some rules and regulations about the floating point numbers and about the IEEE standards, today we will see that how to convert any decimal number into the IEEE 32-bit, or also we can say that how to convert the decimal into 32-bit FPS or a floating point number system. So let's see how to convert the numbers. Okay, now let's see the steps that how to convert decimal to the floating point number. So first you need to convert the integral part to the binary. Suppose your number is, let's say, 32.5. This is your number which you want to convert into the FPS. So first you need to convert the integral part. What is the integral part? Integral part means this 32. This is your integral part. So first convert it into the binary. After that, convert the fractional parts. What is the fractional part? This 0.5 is your fractional part. So convert that. After doing that, simply append the 2 raised to 0 to the end of the binary. Whatever the binary you get for the 32.5, after that, just append the 2 raised to 0. After appending 2 raised to 0, normalize the number. We know how to normalize the number, right? The normalization of the number means you need to write the number in this format, that is m multiplied by r e, right? This is your normalized number, and in this is the scientific notation, but in a normalized, what you do, you shift the radix point in such a way so you get your MSB non-zero, right? And based on how many places you are shifting the radix point, accordingly your exponent will get changed. So this is the next step. After that, after getting after getting your actual scientific notation or a normalized number, identify the mantissa sign, bit, and the exponent value. So simply place the mantissa in the location or in the right place. Then whatever the exponent you get, just simply add the bias value to the exponent, and after adding the bias value, you will get the decimal number. So again you need to convert it into the binary. And finally, now you have your sign bit, now you have exponent and mantissa. Arrange all the bits in the specific column, specific blocks, and after that, after doing that, finally display your answer in the hexadecimal. So these are the steps to change the decimal number into the floating point number. Now in the next slide we will see, we'll take an example and we'll see that how to convert the decimal to floating point system. So let's start. Okay, so after the steps that how to convert decimal to FPS, let's take one example. In this example, we will convert the decimal number into the 8-bit IEEE format. So let's see and let's perform all these steps one by one. Okay, so here we have 3.5 decimal number which we need to convert into the IEEE 8-bit format. Let's start. So as we know, the rules or steps, the first step says convert the integral part into the binary, and in this 3.5, 3 is the integral part. So I got 1 as a binary for 3. Next step says convert the fractional part into the binary. Okay, fine. So here we have 0.5 as a fractional part, and we know that to convert any fractional number into the binary, we multiply that fractional number with the 2. So here we got 1 and 0.0, it means 1 generated, so my binary is 1. So finally I can write my 3.5 base 10 value as a 11.12 base 2. So this is my decimal to binary. This is simple, but what is asked, they have asked to convert this number into IEEE 8-bit format. So we need to do some more process on this. So let's follow the steps. After getting this binary, now append the 2 raised to 0. Now append the 2 raised to 0. So what we have done, see, 1 that is my binary, and then I have simply append the 2 raised to 0. After appending the 2 raised to 0, we need to normalize this number, and we know what is the normalization. Normalization means make your MSB non-zero, and accordingly shift the radix point. So here I have shifted radix point to the 1 place left side, that is 1.11, and because 1 place shifted, so I got 1 as an exponent, right? So this is the normalized number. After getting the normalized number, just identify all the parts of the numbers or the format. Like first I got the sign 0. Why 0? Because my original number, this original number is positive. So 0 would be the sign bit. Then exponent. What I got as an exponent? See, here we got okay, see, here we got 1 as an exponent, right? So 1 is an exponent, and we know that we cannot store the exponent directly. So what we need to do, we need to add the bias value, and 3 is the bias value for 8 bit. So we have simply added 3, we got 4, and this is the decimal. So again we need to convert it into the binary. So 100 is the binary. So I got sign bit I got, there I got the exponent, that is 100, 3 bits here I got, and mantissa. What is mantissa? So here after the radix point, right side beats after the radix point my mantissa. So this is the mantissa, and mantissa we got 111, right? Okay, so now the time, so finally we got sign bit, exponent beats, and the mantissa bits, and now the time to set all the beats into the 8-bit format. And we know that in a 8-bit representation, the format is 1 plus 3 plus 4, means 1 is for the sign bit, 3 places for the exponent, and 4 places for the mantissa. So here you can see with the color difference that this is the sign bit, right? Sign bit location. So 0 is my sign bit. Then we have, okay, then we have these three positions, and this is the location for the exponent. So what I got as an exponent, 100. So simply write 1 0 and 0. This is the 1 plus 1 is done, 3 is done. Now time to focus on the 4, right? Okay, so for the 4 means my mantissa part, and because here we have total 4 positions or 4 locations, but I have only 2 bits, right? I have only 2 bits, that is 1 1. So simply write the 1 1, and then fill rest of all the empty fields with the 0. So this is how you can convert the decimal to IEEE 8-bit format. But still we need to do one more step, and that is, here we have 8 bits. So it's very simple or easy to identify the number. But what if I have a 32-bit or a 64-bit? In that case I have a 64 bits. So it's very difficult to identify the number. And so for the ease, we convert this binary into the hexadecimal. So here we have the hexadecimal. This is the 0 for the sign, and 4CH. 4CH is the hexa for the given number. How? See, this is 0 1 0 0. 0 1 0 0 means this 4 positions, 0 1 0 and 0, these 4 positions, and then we have 1 1 0 and 0, right? So we know to convert any binary into the hexa, we make a group of 4 bits. So here we have made a group of 4 bits. So 4 bits is for the 4, and second for the 12, and this 0 indicates the sign of the number, right? So you can write this way, hexa number. So this is how you can convert your decimal number into the IEEE format. So this is for the 8-bit. Now I'll see for the 32-bit. Okay, so now let's take an example for the 32-bit. Here we have one number, that is 0.1015625, and we are going to convert this decimal number into IEEE 32-bit floating point format. So let's start. As rule says that the very first thing which we need to do is convert the integral part into the binary, and here we have only 0 in integral part, so no big deal. So simply 0 I will get as a binary. Now second step is to convert the fractional part. Here the fractional part is quite long, so we have to convert all the final numbers, all the numbers into the binary. And to convert fractional number into the binary, what we do, we multiply that number with the 2, and we need to do this process till we get 1.0. So here you can see that after multiplying each and every fractional part with the 2 by the 2, we get some number, and some binary numbers are generating. So this is 0001, then still the process is going on. 0.625 by 2, then 1.25, 1 generated, 0.25, and finally we got 0.5 multiplied by 2, and we got 1.0. So finally we got the binary number. Now let's write the original decimal number into the binary format. So here we got the binary format. Now next step is to normalize this number, and after the normalizing this number, what we got? We got 1.101 base 2 into 2 raised to minus 4 we got. So after normalizing the number, so we have everything now. We have sine, we have mantissa, we have exponent. Now time to set all the blocks. So mantissa, what is mantissa? See, over here, just see this. We know mantissa means the numbers after the radix point. So here we got only 101, but we know that because we are working with the 32 bits, so the format is 1 plus 8 plus 23, means for the mantissa we have 23 places, and here we got only 3 bits. So rest of all locations, that is total 20 locations, will be filled by 0. So here we got the mantissa, then we have the yes, mantissa has a 32 bits, and then we got the exponent. Exponent is minus 4, but we cannot store the exponent directly. So what we do, we simply add the bias, and 127 is the bias for the 32, and so far we got the 123, and the binary for the 123 is this. So mantissa is there, then exponent is there, and then finally we got the sign bit. Because the original number is positive, so here we have 0 as a sign bit. Now let's set all the parts into the blocks. So here we have a table with total 32 locations, 32 places, and uh, this first place is for the sign, then other 8 for the exponent, and next 23 is for the mantissa. So after arranging all the bits, here is the your binary location, binary numbers, but it's quite a big number, right? So what do? We simply convert it into the hexa, and after converting this binary into the hexa, we got 3DD 0 0 0 and 0. So here it is that how you can convert any decimal into the floating point number for the 32-bit standard, right? Okay, so it's about converting decimal into IEEE 32-bit. Okay guys, so it was about how you can convert any decimal number into the IEEE 32-bit format. Please do practice for other sums, and happy learning. Thank you.